Just to recap, you said that you met my husband Charles, on July 3rd. Is that correct?
Approximately. Give or take a day.
And you went on a date with him on July 10th.
Correct.
So that was what, 7 days later?
Approximately.
So would it be fair to say that you knew my husband for a week?
Approximately.
Okay. And then you had no contact with Charles after that, correct?
Well, he was dead, so clearly I didn't have contact with him.
Well, today's testimony in the Lori Vallow Daybell Arizona murder trial delivered shocking revelations, awkward courtroom exchanges, and powerful insights into Lori's twisted world. From a former date of Charles Vallow to church acquaintances to uncomfortable run-ins on dating apps, this day peeled back yet another layer of a chilling saga that's captivating the nation. So join us as we break down every moment of the contradictions, a laugh, some gasps, all through the lens of behavioral profiling. Well, hey everybody, welcome to Profiling Evil, your go-to crime channel. Now listen, please hit the like and subscribe button, ring the bell, make sure you're sharing us with your friends. It really helps us, I really appreciate it, and I want to dig right into this case, so let's get started. The courtroom was barely settled when the testimony began today in Lori Daybell's trial. It started peeling back the layers of a relationship that was marked by manipulation, secrecy, some might even argue delusions. We kicked off with an unexpected yet really intriguing witness named Nancy Jo Hancock, a woman who had gone on a single date with Charles Vallow just days before he was shot and killed. From the get-go, her presence in the courtroom added a raw, very human layer to this saga that so often feels like a surreal crime novel. Now, Nancy Jo's testimony was emotional, scattered at times, but at others, startlingly frank. The woman made no bones about her brief connection with Charles and what it was like. Just a few text messages, a single dinner on July 10th, and then nothing. Because as she delivered with dry finality, he was dead, so clearly I didn't have any contact with him. That clip we played at the beginning of this film, which really caught the courtroom off guard.
Just to recap, you said that you met my husband Charles, on July 3rd. Is that correct?
Approximately. Give or take a day.
And you went on a date with him on July 10th.
Correct.
So that was what, 7 days later?
Approximately.
So would it be fair to say that you knew my husband for a week?
Approximately.
Okay. And then you had no contact with Charles after that, correct?
Well, he was dead, so clearly I didn't have contact with him.
Okay.
Now the defense team, led by Lori herself, still representing her own interests in cross-examining witnesses, tried to poke holes in Nancy Jo's credibility, questioning her over text messages, over run-ins with family members, and even her use of a dating app where she claims to have seen Lori's brother, Adam Cox, using a fake name. She said, hey, he was using a different name, but I recognized the face as Adam Cox. And what did she do about it? She sent him a message suggesting that if he was going to catfish somebody, he should pick someone other than Adam Cox. The burn was delivered, and the point was scored. Well, that little anecdote cracked the courtroom into chuckles, but it also laid bare just how close-knit and bizarre this entire web of people is. Everybody seemed to know everyone. They bump into each other at pickleball tournaments, at church gatherings, and online dating apps. It's like a small-town soap opera with a deadly twist. Lori's defense strategy was to grill Nancy Jo about her communications with Kay Woodcock, with her own brother Adam, and even the prosecutor, Trinae Nelson. "How many times have you spoken with her?" Lori asked, and Nancy replied, "Once in person, once on the phone, and then just logistics by text." Well, Lori, in cross-examination, also tried to discredit Nancy's motives. She said, quote, "Did you turn over the texts?" Well, Nancy said no, she wasn't asked to, but added that she would have if somebody would have asked her. Well, it felt like Lori was building a case that everybody was secretly collaborating against her, but it didn't land very well. In fact, it's kind of the strategy she's used all along. Much of the examination focused on the timeline of Nancy and Charles's brief courtship. July 3rd, they met. July 10th, they had dinner. July 11th, Charles was dead. But the implication was heavier than the math. Nancy said that Charles had been excited that night. He was looking forward to seeing JJ the next morning. He talked about his life, his sister Kay, and how much he loved his adopted son. And according to Nancy over that dinner, he was done with the chaos of Lori and he was moving forward with his life. While the divorce wasn't final, his plans were to divorce. Now, Lori didn't seem pleased with that version of events, and when Nancy said she reached out to Kay Woodcock in December, some 5 months after Charles's death, it was to share condolences and let Kay know about the final dinner that she had. She actually said in court, "I wanted her to know that he spoke highly of JJ, that he was excited to see him the next day," close quote. Well, it was a rare moment of tenderness in a case that's choked with tragedy. Things got tense when Lori started cross-examining again, pushing Nancy into a corner, saying, "Do you know what perjury is?" And Nancy didn't blink. "Absolutely." And that's when the prosecutor objected to the line of questioning as being argumentative. You could almost sense that Lori felt like she was dealing with the other woman, and she was angry about it. Sustained, the moment was telling because Lori couldn't use the tactics that she was, the on-stage throwing of punches. She wasn't just building a defense. It was really feeling personal, emotional, and a little more than desperate. And again, to me, it seemed like it was one woman going after the other woman in that relationship. Well, next up on the stand was Christina Atwood, a member of Lori's former church congregation and a one-time acquaintance to her. Now, Atwood's testimony offered a more panoramic view of Lori's spiral, from these spiritual gatherings with names like people like Zulema Pastenas and Melanie Gibb and Serena Sharp, to conversations about Charles being possessed by a dark spirit named Garrett. Atwood painted a haunting picture of Lori's descent into religious extremism. And one detail that raised eyebrows was Atwood recalling Lori describing Charles as dark. And by February of 2019, she was saying that he was possessed. Now, Lori never said it was a joke, never tried to play it off. It was, in her mind, reality. Lori also distanced herself from anyone who questioned her, Atwood included. Atwood said, quote, "I confronted her about what she was saying about Charles," and Atwood testified that after that, she wasn't invited to attend any other meetings with Daybell. Now, we've seen this kind of behavior before with cult dynamics. You're either in or you're out. And when you're out, you are out. Now, Atwood's testimony connected several dots in the prosecution's timeline. She recalled that in early 2019, Lori had fled to Hawaii without telling anybody. Lori claimed she was hiding from Charles. She left JJ in Texas with Charles, and Tylee was staying with her brother, Alex Cox, who just months later would shoot Charles Vallow dead. Atwood also recalled being invited to Hawaii herself, but she said she declined. Apparently, Lori wasn't telling many people where she was, and when she was later invited to a spiritual group gathering, one of these now infamous prepper style meetings that Lori had, it was clear to Atwood that things were already spinning out of control. She said that Lori claimed she was part of a group of chosen people, people who were battling dark spirits, fulfilling missions from God. Christina said Lori never seemed to question it and never laughed it off. She was dead serious about this position that she believed she had. There was a name for Charles, this alleged dark spirit, she said. And there were teachings about multiple probations. There were secret meetings and there were power consolidation efforts going on, Lori being the spiritual center of the circle. This wasn't role play. To Lori, it appeared that it was doctrine. And then came a bone-chilling moment. Atwood said that at one of the meetings, Lori and Alex joked, or maybe didn't really joke about it, about Charles dying. She said, quote, Alex said something about killing Charles, quote, close quote, and that was 1 month before Charles was killed. Her voice faltered at that moment, but the courtroom was hanging on every single word she was saying. You see, when she learned that Alex was indeed the one who pulled the trigger, she was shaken. She said, quote, at first I thought it was someone else. Then I realized that it was Alex. And as the day wrapped up, the prosecutor asked if Lori had ever walked back her statements about Charles being possessed. She wanted to know, did she ever say anything like it was a joke? To which Christina replied, no. The prosecutor went further. Did she ever say she was kidding about the name of the spirit? The reply again was no. That silence hit harder than any outburst that had happened up to that point, and it confirmed what the state's been arguing all along, that Lori believed her own doctrine. You see, today's testimony left us with a clearer picture of a woman who was spiraling deep into extremism, and she was dragging everyone in around her. All of them were being pulled into this storm that she had created. So from that first date turned witness to an old church friend who witnessed spiraling psychosis up front, the courtroom heard it all today. Dating apps, demonic possessions, fatal premonitions, and one woman's unshakable belief that she was the chosen one. In short, another day, another gut punch in the Lori Vallow Daybell trial. And trust me, folks, I think tomorrow promises even more, because I'd like your comments on this, and I hope you'll take time to enter your comments down below. And please, weigh in on the comments made by others. Be kind and constructive, and let's explore this true crime case together. And so thanks so much for tuning into Profiling Evil. I really do appreciate your support, and I love having you along for this journey. Don't forget you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. There you can get more updates, more insights, everything else. And if you like audio podcasts, make sure you're checking out Profiling Evil's podcasts on your favorite podcast platform. I hope you like these kind of cliff note days I'm giving you. Instead of watching 6 hours of video, I'm trying to give it to you in about 10 or 15 minutes. So I hope you enjoy it. And if you do enjoy it, I hope you'll give us a thumbs up, that you'll hit the like and subscribe button, and that you'll share us with your friends. And if you're looking for more content, head over to my website at profilingevil.com, where you're going to find more informative story maps. Especially check out the story map about the Doomsday Daybells. You can find the Doomsday Story Map by going to profilingevil.com and going under the tab Story Maps. When you're on the Story Maps page, just go down to the Doomsday Daybells Story Map. Click on that and it'll take you right over to the story map where you can start to explore this crazy case. Gives you a chance to look at different things. You'll see these tabs along the bottom here. You can look at Chad's turn in this whole thing, the murder charges against them, an overview, and you can even go in and look at Lori's lifetime here and get a little more information to kind of get an understanding of all these husbands that she had over time. You'll see there's a cool map to the right, and that map kind of shows you the location where each of these events occurred. You can check out her first marriage in 1992 to Nelson Yanes. And then 95 when she marries William Langiola. Take her a little while further to get to 2001 when she marries Joseph Ryan. And we learn a little more about Joseph Ryan in this thing, a little bit about him being found dead, the circumstances around that, and then her marriage to Charles Vallow. And each of these, as you go along the way, will have a little more information about them, including things about Chad Daybell and Tammy Daybell, their relationship, and where things go from there. As you explore this story map, you'll find all kinds of cool information, even talking about things like their thoughts on light and dark spirits, or a little discussion about Lori's sister, Stacy Cope, information about Joseph Ryan, and again, his death and what happened around that. So I think you'll really enjoy going into the story map and exploring things on this, including looking at some of the past case history as you explore more about this crazy case. And there you can also look at my unsolved homicides and crowdsourced map for missing persons. It allows people from all over the world to share cases from their own community. It's a fascinating new social experience that I hope you'd be part of. And while you're at my website, sign up for my digital newsletter, the BOLO. That stands for Be on the Lookout. And the only way you can get it is by subscribing at profilingevil.com. And if you're a fan of true crime books, especially a fan of trying to figure out this wacky world of cults, go there and pick out one of my books. The one I'd suggest right now, based on what we're talking about with cult crimes, is Deceived, an investigative memoir of the Zion Society cult. In that book, I explore the cult mentality, the recruiting tactics, and the way in which cults get away with being bad. I think you'd enjoy learning more about this. You can also check out my book on the murder of my great-great-grandmother and how I solved her murder 130 years later. So thanks for your support of Profiling Evil. We'll see you soon at the next crime scene.